And welcome everyone to Real Plans webinar, where we're specifically talking about Whole30. And we're going to go through nice and slow how to set up the Whole30 to suit you. And then that'll take about 20 minutes or so. And then what we're going to do is we're going to then go through it on any questions and answers that you have. And I'm going to also split a little bit of my time today talking about how this all works on your cell phone. Because I just realized that we always talk about the website, as in what's on your laptop. And yet a lot of people these days like to have everything on their cell phone. So we can do both. My name is Anthony Bartlett. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Real Plans. And this is Katie Thompson, the Chief Operating Manager, and has her finger in all of the pies at Real Plans. And between the two of us, we keep each other sane every day, talking about whatever and prioritizing what to do next. Okay, so without further ado, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by showing you Real Plans here and show you the planner. So I'm going to just bring it into the screen here, like so. And oops, I just totally exited out of it. So I'm going to go back in again. There we go. I'm going to, now you know it's live and not a recorded session. Okay, there we go. So this is my meal plan. And I'm going to start off I'm going to go to minimize here like that and just have a look at it. There's what a meal plan looks like. Okay. So, first of all, the first thing to say is that this is what it looks like on an iPad or on your laptop. And you can just go to realplans.com and you can sign up, or you can, if you're already there, you can sign in. And this is the page that you are greeted with. And it shows you an automatic plan that's being set up for you based on a number of questions that we asked you. However, many people fly through the questions, same thing on the cell phone, and they arrive at this page and they go, well, what do I do now? It's June the 4th right now and all the recipes are in front. Well, what do I do? What do I do? So we're going to slow things right down and help everybody really figure out how to dial in their Whole30 to suit them and to make sure that it really works well. Now, one of the first things to do is to know that this is just a recommendation. And you can move things around and you can edit it. And I'm going to do that in a minute. But the first thing I want to do is set us up in the first place. So I'm going to go back to this cog here, the settings you see over here on the top right-hand corner. You can see my mouse over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click onto the settings. And it takes me to my profile page. And then I can go over to this Whole30 meal plan over here. And this is where the real heart of Real Plans is. In here, you can decide all kinds of things. Setting up your Whole30, making sure that it's going to work for you, setting up the date of when it's going to start. And a Whole30 really is very customizable in that you can decide how many recipes you want to cook in a certain week. And also there may be some other Whole30 things that you want to exclude, some part of the diet that you also want to exclude based on taste. But we're going to go into all of that. So the first thing you can do is you can decide when you want to start your Whole30. So it's good to give yourselves a little kind of, start on a specific date. So I'm going to say, I'm going to start on the 7th here, on the Sunday, this Sunday. And most Whole30s are obviously 30, but you can change that. Some old timers decide just to do it for like 10 or 15 days. And then you're given this diet type, this Whole30 diet type. Because Real Plans has lots of different diets, but you're on the Whole30 diet. Now, if you click on this little button here, it's Advanced Dietary Restrictions, you can click into here, and we've already set up, and thanks to our work with the Whole30 corporate and Melissa Urban and stuff, we've made sure that we've got a specific Whole30 diet here. So you're all set up already. However, you may notice in here I have a few extra things. I've decided well, I actually like broccoli, but you can also exclude broccoli if you like, or you could exclude other things that are part of the Whole30 diet, things that you are allowed to eat on the Whole30, but maybe, you're not into something. You can just go and find something in here, like, I don't know, asparagus or something. And find any variant of asparagus, because there may be more than one ingredient to do with asparagus. And you can just simply pull that over there. And now I have asparagus and broccoli taken out of my Whole30 diet. Now, I actually like these things. So I'm going to unselect them here, put them all back in again. And I'm just going to go with the old classic Whole30. And you can even, if you mess things up as well, you can also, here you see, reset food groups to the Whole30 settings. Just in case you forget what a Whole30 really is, you can reset it here. So I save this, and now there's a little man inside Real Plans that goes, all right, or a little lady, I don't want to be gender specific, who then goes, this recipe is fine, this recipe is not, based on your settings. So here we go, I've got a good classic Whole30 diet. Now the next thing to decide is really, how many people are you going to cook for? Now, the temptation you might think would be to just, I'm going to go back on the camera here for a second, so I'm actually talking to you. Hello. So the temptation is to, go, oh, well, I'm just doing the Whole30 on my own, and I'm just going to create a Whole30 meal plan. But the reality is, and the thing that we found out over the years, is that no one is on their own. I mean, some people are, they've got, that you can set the settings to 1, but a lot of people have to think about the fact that they're in a household, it's family members. My kids have just started their summer vacation today. We did the technology drop off, all with masks on and stuff, at the school. And so, you got to think about other people when you're doing the Whole30. And so it's kind of worthwhile considering that you set the portion size based on, portion size, we don't differentiate really between kids and adults, but you can kind of figure out 4 is your average, like 2 adults, 2 kids kind of thing. You can adjust it if you're having too much or too little. But think about portion size as being something that's inclusive. And then if they are demanding some non-Whole30 thing, or indeed your daughter's birthday is on Saturday and you need to make her a chocolate cake, heaven forbid you don't actually eat any of the chocolate cake, but let's say you have to do it anyway. You can put a chocolate cake onto your plan or whatever, and it's a plan that creates a shopping list that means you go to the shops once, and you're not shopping for just an academic plan just for you and then for everyone else, because that would get really pricey too in terms of having to shop double. All right, so that's what that portion serving size is all about. Now here you can really decide how it is that you want to cook. In other words, how many times do you want to cook a different recipe for dinner? That's what this is all about. This little slider here will mean that we're going to automatically schedule or give a recommendation, a suggestion of what might work for you if you decide to have 4 dinners a week. Maybe you want to start slow and just go 2. So let's stick it on 3 here. The next question here is, do you want to have enough for leftovers? So leftovers is one of those things that you dream about, and then you say, well, I'm a leftovery kind of a person. When it comes down to it, you simply don't buy enough food to manage the leftovers, And so you do need to consider that if you're going to do leftovers, this will actually double the amount here. This is saying how many extra leftover portions would you like? If you cook for 4, you need another meal of 4. But you're doing it all at the same time and chopping onions and grating carrots and doing everything all at the same time, which is kind of good. And then here you can even have leftovers more than once if you wanted to. So I cook on a Monday night and then I can eat it for Tuesday lunch and Wednesday lunch. And then here, these are all questions based on how people like to be asked questions about what their schedule is. And we've tried to be as inclusive as possible here in terms of how people really think about their schedule. And I really encourage you to think long and hard about how you want to do this. And this is really to create the best possible meal plan when it first arrives on your screen, you see? So let's see. Maybe I'm just going to eat those leftovers from dinner here.
Also, one thing to note for everyone, you can absolutely change these. So think long and hard about it, but it's not a big commitment. You can totally come in and change it.
It's not like your exam or something. And then, but one, you can change whatever recommendation we come up with, but what we're trying to do is make a good recommendation for you. So, okay, how do you eat breakfast? Maybe you don't plan for breakfast, or you want to just get a few things in the morning. You just want to say, I want eggs on my shopping list, and that's that. Let's put in a couple of different breakfasts here. So in customized scheduling in this button, you can really do more. I'm going to skip this for the purpose of today, for the Whole30ers. But in here, you can say, I want this specific recipe on this day. I want a slow cooker recipe on a Tuesday night. There's all kinds of things you can do in here. So I save all of these settings, and it says, all right, now we're going to do this. Do you want to update the entire plan? Yes, I do. So now what it's doing is it's creating a Whole30 for me, starting on Sunday. Let's go to the meal planner with all of those nice settings that I put in. And you can see here that my Whole30 is going to start. Now I'm looking at this week because today is Thursday the 4th. Thursday the 4th. Here you can skip to the following week to see what's going to happen. So you're all set up. So now I skip to the following week and off we go. Day 1 of my Whole30. Hooray. And this here is the first, is the ham with some mashed sweet potatoes on the side, cinnamon mashed sweet potatoes. And then there's the leftover right there. So this is what this yellow sign is for. So if I minimize this, we can just take a moment and have a look at all those nice pictures. Roasted potatoes with sausage and peppers, spinach mint salad with almonds. Man, that's a good one, by the way. I like that. And again, this is a recommendation. This is a starting point for you. And you can really now adjust this all you want. You could go back into the settings and go, oh, I want to change the number of recommended recipes in a given week. But really, this is this is kind of the recommendation. Now, what I'm going to also do is I'm going to log in to my phone at this point, and I'm going to pull up the same plan on my phone, because you could have done all of this from an iPhone or from an Android, which is you can get them from the various places, and you can log in and you can get you can basically see all of this stuff. Oh, look at that. We just got a message in our love channel from a testimonial from one of our customers. Every time we get a message from someone on a, that's funny. That should come up right now. That wasn't done on purpose, by the way. Anyway, that was pretty nice. That was a nice. We get compliments and we put it in our Slack channel, which is designed to, for us to communicate. And anyway, it says, my life has changed a lot since I started using meal plans. So I don't use the meal plan. I love finding the recipes and automatic shopping list. Thank you so much. Pretty cool. Okay, so let's go and have a look. I'm going to show you this on my screen right now, and you'll be able to see the same plan. Here it is. See this? Apples with almond butter and beautiful bacon. And there it is, and this is my phone right here. It doesn't have a frame around it, but I can kind of do this and you can see what's going on. And this is the same thing. So now on my phone, I've got the same thing. And what's really cool is that from here, you see this shopping list button here. You can just click on the shopping list, and then you can go through this list and you can go around your kitchen with your phone, and you can check stuff off as you walk around and go, oh, well, I already got some bananas, so I'm going to check this off right here. And I click on bananas, and there it is, it's gone. And click down, and my neighbor legit has a lemon tree, so I don't need lemons. I'll just kind of go like that. Anyway, you get the idea. So you can move around on the mobile and do all the things that I just talked about. So if I click on this settings button, I can go to the Whole30 meal plan here, go to the diet and the schedule, and here I am with all the same settings. And actually in this one, we got pictures of Melissa. It's kind of cool. And then here's all my settings being shown again on my cell phone. So I just wanted to kind of show you that. I always forget to show people that it really works on both. But this is nice on a laptop because you see everything all at once laid out in this format. Now, having got your automated plan, you may look at this and go, well, you know what? I actually want to have more food than this. Maybe on the Friday, we want to have something else. And these are all Whole30 recipes here because I've got my diet selected. My diet means Whole30 and then whatever other changes I made to my diet. Remember the broccoli and the asparagus that I had excluded, put back in again, but this is what my diet is here. So in this side panel over here, I'm over on the left, you've got this course. You can open up this course here and you can click on entree, main course. If you're saying, I just want to have a look at the main meals that are available to me that I can do. Now, the first ones that come up are the ones that I have actually liked with this thumb here. Said, yeah, I like this. And as a result, if a liked recipe fits the criteria, the filters that I've got here on the left, then it'll show up first. And that's a pretty useful device because you will then see recipes that you are familiar with, that you love. And a lot of people like to, cycle the same 10 recipes over and over. But within a turn of the page here, you can start seeing other things that might tickle your fancy. You can go here and have a look at all kinds of different recipes and have a look to see, what's available. So I can go and have a look at anything I like. Balsamic roasted chicken. It's a pretty cool recipe right there. It actually does look quite delicious. I'm going to add that to my Friday meal. So I pick it up and I drag it across over here like so. And now it's there. On the mobile, what you can do, if you're wanting to have a look at something, you can simply just add something. Oh, there's that balsamic roasted chicken. So you see the mobile and the website all linked. They're all speaking to the same mothership. You can remove it like this, sliding it across, or I'm going to go into it. I'm going to go down here and I'm going to see, ooh, there's some recommendations here of things that might go well. Here's a cauliflower mash. That looks good. I'm going to add that to my plan. I'm going to have that. Where are we? Next week. With that roasted chicken. I'm going to pick that there. And I'm going to have that for dinner. Schedule the recipe. I'm going to add the recipe. So there it is. So now I've added a nice side in here. And you can do things like clicking on this down arrow. This is how you add recipes on the mobile. So you can do both and move it all around. So here I am. Now, going over to the shopping list now, because this is a way for you to, and if you want to remove something, by the way, you just click on the little X and then it goes away. That's just a quick thing there. Okay. Now, let's go and have a look at the shopping list. So I just clicked on the shopping list over on the right-hand side. You see here? So now it's gone back to the planner, or I can go to the shopping list like this over here. Now, the shopping list is actually extremely smart. I'm going to go back to the camera for a second. Hello. So the shopping list has always been something, basically Real Plans could be a shopping list app, a meal planning app, a dietary restriction app, all kinds of things, but it's all rolled into one. And it's awesome that you're here on a webinar because we can show you all this stuff. And it's 7 years of work. And people, the reason why it does all this stuff is because people just like you used it and went, wouldn't it be nice if? And Katie and I, we scratched our heads a little bit and went, you know what? I think we can do it. Or rather, I was like, Katie, or Katie was like to me going, and then we calmed each other down and went, okay, how would this look? How would it work? And then we put it out, right, Katie? It's been like a super exciting roller coaster for 7 years to kind of make this happen. So let's show you some of the stuff on the shopping list that has come about from people saying, wouldn't it be nice if? Watch, here we go. So one of the first things is that people said, well, you know, I always buy a big bag of salt at the beginning of the year in bulk. I don't want you to keep telling me to buy salt because every time that I go to the supermarket or the store, I am told to buy salt. So you can just, I click on the ingredient. It gives this, I can change the amount or the unit of measure. But if I click on view ingredient, I have some other options. I can give myself a note that would show up on a shopping list. But also you can say, I always have it, meaning don't keep telling me to buy salt because I have salt all the time. So every time that an ingredient, a recipe, which is most every recipe, says, hey, add some salt, then this won't show up. So if I save that, save this ingredient, now the salt has disappeared and it went straight to got it over here. Got it obviously is stuff that I've checked off or that I've said I always have. So that's one thing. Second thing, of course, right from the beginning, we're like, yeah, of course you want to check stuff off. So before I even go to the store, I check off the stuff that I know that I have. Now, spices, for example, is a common thing that's very challenging to remember whether you have or not. You know, you might have, I don't know about everyone else, going back to the camera here. I don't know if you know anyone else, but my spice, I even think I stuck it on Instagram at some point. It has a, you know, you have a recipe and then you're like, oh, I'll buy some fennel seeds or something. And then you buy them and then you forget whether or not you have fennel seeds because it's like a herb drawer that's full of things. And so this is a great time before you go to the store to check that you have all the things. And so you don't buy your third pot of fennel seeds sitting there. I know that I do. So if I do it, everyone does it. So so you check them off here. So, and you can even say, no, I actually have all of these spices. So you can just check next to the title spices, you can just check all of them all at once. And then here's another thing. And this is a way that I use it. I like to make sure that I have certain staples in my shopping list all the time. So my Achilles heel is ketchup. Yep, Heinz ketchup, organic ketchup. I like it with my eggs, no matter what's going on. And this ketchup, I say buy every week. Now it doesn't mean make sure you buy one every week because there's no way I'd go through a whole, bottle of ketchup every week. But it's a reminder to go, just check the pantry to make sure that your staples are in there. And you do that like this. So over on the right-hand side, you see this add ingredient. You can just go in here and you can say, okay, another example, almond butter. I love almond butter. I love almond butter with a banana. Good snack. So I can add that. And then in here, when I click the plus sign, it gives me some options. And I can say, buy this every week. So now that means that almond butter appears every single week on my plan, and I can add that. And now every week I will get the almond butter. So there you go. This is there's lots of things. Oh, and if you're an Instacart household, you can put all of these ingredients on Instacart and then fiddle with the cart once you're there, and you'll be able to do stuff. Katie, do we have questions at this point?
I do actually have a couple of shopping list questions I was going to do before you move on.
Yeah, of course.
I have one from Dara, and I think this is a great one. She has added 3 stores, but right now all of her stuff is just going to one store. And so she wants to know, how do I make it to where meat goes to one store and, let's say, vegetables go to a different store?
Great question. So let's have a look at that. So you'll notice here I do have some. Now, when you first start off, we ask you, you can go into your settings and put in your favorite shop, the one that you mostly go to. And then that's really where everything goes. But if you are lucky enough to be able to have a local farm that you can go visit, and you can go and get eggs from the local farm or what have you, inside the eggs in here, you can just click on the ingredient, view the ingredient, and you can change the shop that you buy your eggs from. So you can do it at an ingredient level. And so if you're sending someone else out with the shopping list and installing real plans on someone's iPhone, your partner's iPhone, and go get the shopping, they know to stop off on the side of the road to the farm shop and pick up the eggs, and get those nice yellow yolks going. So like that. Now, if your farm shop is a very big farm shop and it's a dairy farm and the eggs and everything else, you can click on the whole category, and you can say everything that falls into eggs and dairy you can get at the store. And so you can manage shops down here, and you can add and remove and do all kinds of things. And really, this is just a way for you to organize your own shopping list. So you're able to create lots of different stores, and you can either at a category level or at an ingredient level say, this is where I'd like everything to be shopped from. Now, you don't have to do this. This is, again, because users have gone, and even a question on this webinar, how do I use the shops? And there it is. And so it's very easy in Real Plans to become overwhelmed thinking, do I need to do all this stuff? You don't. You can have an automated plan and a shopping list, go shopping and go and do your Whole30. But the real, beauty of Real Plans is that you can go really deep into any one topic and do lots of things. And Katie and I keep talking about, if there's ever a fault with Real Plans, it's that because there's so much you can do. And so I like to present it in a simple way and then know that you can do all kinds of cool stuff. Another question, Katie.
Sure. This one is, can we push the grocery list items to a specific shared list in our phones in case multiple family members are doing the shopping?
Yes. You all log in using your same account. So I often do this. I actually have a 13-year-old, my girlfriend, we're all like in the store at the same time, and we're all clicking off, you go and get the fruit and vegetables, you go and get and we've done the categories based on how you would walk through a typical store in the US. So it starts off with fruit and vegetables, and it goes through the middle of the store and then ends up. So you can actually, and if you, the shopping list on your phone refreshes every 20 seconds, 30 seconds, something like that. And so if someone's checked something off, you know that you're not all making your way back to the cart with, 6 apples or whatever.
Awesome. Okay. So we're going to move away from shopping list with some other questions.
Okay.
I have from, looks like, I'm not sure I have a name on this one. Can we tell Real Plans to include stuff we already have in the recipe selections?
Stuff we already have in the recipe selections.
So let's say I have a ton of broccoli and I want my meal plan to include that.
Yeah. Okay. So here's what you can do. Now, there's a few things here. There's two ways that you can add recipes onto the meal plan, right? There's the main meal plan itself, or you can go off to the recipe box. Now, what a really good thing to do is, if you're trying to use stuff up, you can simply go over to the search recipe and ingredient, and whatever it is, you can go in here and you can say, put in a particular, well, any ingredient you want. So let's put in spinach, for example, and search for spinach. And it'll start pulling all manner of spinach recipes. Then you can say things like, well, I actually wanted a spinach salad. Let's do that. There you go. Now you're looking at salads where spinach is a predominant thing. And if you like the idea of this, and you can click into each one. This spinach mint salad. Oh, that's pretty cool. You can bring that into and just drag it over like so. You can undo that one, and you can say, okay, well, actually, let's have a look at, maybe some soups that include spinach. There we go. And so these ones have spinach inside of them. Here's a zucchini spinach soup. So you can go really deep in that way, because what Real Plans is doing is saying, what's your diet? How many recipes do you want to cook? And it's going to put some stuff in there for you. Now, what this method is doing, you can actually you can go over here and you can just clear the entire plan. It's a whole different way of working with this. So rather than having an automated plan, you can just get rid of the plan altogether and start filling it up with your spinach ideas or anything that you're trying to use up. And then when you get to the shopping list, you can just check off the spinach and just get everything else around those recipes. Katie, anything else?
I do have some other questions.
Wonderful.
I have a similar question from both JP and Vicky about adding recipes. JP is looking for Mel Jawan's recipes, and they don't import well. So, as well as can I add my own recipes?
Ooh, yes. Okay.
Cover that.
Let's talk about other recipes. Now then, what we did when we first started Real Plans, we tested 2,000 recipes, like literally in this house right here, in that kitchen over there, right? And we started off with dinners, and then we did breakfast and lunches. And when we added breakfast, the family ate breakfast literally for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 3 months. And we added it into the plan. But sometimes you think, I want to mix up my recipe box a little bit. I want some extra things to look into. And there's two ways of doing that. Let's have a look at what you can do. If you want an entire set of recipes that have already been beautifully cataloged and the images are all done and everything else, you can click on this golden crown up here. And if you click on that, it'll take you to a page that'll show you all of the available recipes. Now, Mel Joan is well fed, of course, here. You can just click on that and you can add it to the cart like so. And what we do is, because this is a way of adding, this is an annual upgrade, and because I'm subscribed annually to Real Plans, it's $1 a month to have those recipes. And that money is going to Mel Joan because it's her work. She's spent all that time putting those recipes together. And so we license those recipes from her in order to be able to put it into a plan. And, most of the recipe contributors have like 250 recipes. And, they for $1, it's kind of basically, it's like a computer game where you're racing around a track in your car, and then you want to upgrade your engine and I don't know if there are any computer gamers out there, but you click a little star and then you get some gold coins. And that's kind of where I had this idea of being able to add and mix around, and you can like cancel from certain, recipes and then add other ones. And throughout the year, you can just have some really interesting and a nice variety of recipes. The second way is to import your own recipes. So you can do that off the internet. So you can go, if you have, so let's go over to the recipe box, which is over here on the top left-hand corner. So I'm looking at I'm on the planner right now that goes to the shopping list and everything else. You can click on the recipe box. Now the recipe box, this thing has nice big pictures of everything and has the same filtering. And when you schedule something, you schedule it like this. It's just a slightly different way of adding recipes to your meal plan. And also, it's rather nice looking at these large, beautiful images of all the recipes. Now then, over here, top left there of my mouse, you can import a recipe. You can do it on the mobile app too. You import the recipe, and then you can put in either a URL of a recipe. Now, in Mel Joanne's case, and maybe some other websites, it won't be as easy to import, and it also suddenly doesn't add all the tags. But it is a good start. It's a way of being able to bring in recipes. So if there are no banners on that website or what have you, you can just grab the URL, put it in here, and it'll pull in the image and the how to prepare and the ingredients. Or you can just import it manually. So in here, you can just copy and paste the ingredients and the instructions. You can download an image and update it, put in a title, and you can save this entire recipe, and then it becomes something that you're able to schedule into your own plan. So we're providing lots of different options to import recipes into real plans in order to keep this whole thing pretty fresh. However, a lot of users, even with the Whole30 recipes that you have, and if I click over to Origin here, you can see that you already have these Whole30 recipes already available to you in the system. Katie,
Anthony, real quick,
else? Yeah.
I do. I have just a couple. One is about macro breakdowns. I was going to have you open a recipe card so we could show where that nutritional information label is. Absolutely.
And because this is in the context of Whole30, of course, Melissa Urban doesn't encourage running your meal plan through macros and stuff. And so although Real Plans does have the ability to do macros, we turn all that functionality off, even if you've purchased the macro tracker, because you're doing a Whole30. But you can go into a recipe here, go to Actions, and go to Nutritional Info here. And then we've replicated the label with the daily recommended values for each of these things, based off the USDA nutritional database. And we have the latest 2020 version with all of the latest data in it. So that it includes recent popular ingredients. And it basically gives you all the nutritional information there against a single recipe.
Awesome. And then our very last question we'll be taking is someone is interested in having the planner schedule them meals that take a certain time frame or less, like 30-minute meals.
Yes. Okay.
And I wanted to show that advanced scheduling, please.
Absolutely. Now, let's go over. Now, this is a button that I skipped. I'm going back to settings over on the top right-hand corner into the cog. I'm going into my Whole30 meal plan here. And then further down this page where there's the diet and the schedule, I scroll all the way down, you'll see this button called Customize Scheduling. Now here you can really dig in. So right now it's showing all of the filters that have been set up based on the questions that you answered earlier. I'm going to make a dinner and I'm going to have leftovers here based on the Sunday dinner, etc., etc. Now, let's use the example that we've been given. As well as cooking this dinner here on the Sunday night, if I click on filters here, you'll see that there are 360 different entrees that are available that we're going to be picking from to provide you, based on you having bought the Whole30 package, that we're going to pick from. Now, you can change these filters and say, well, I only want stuff that's going to take me less than 30 minutes to create. That brings it down to 3:15. Now, if you're really short on time on a Sunday night, Boom. So now we've brought it down to 100 recipes, and you can add that now. And that now means, and you can go and you can add that filter to all the places in order to do a very, an active time that's less than 15 minutes. And there are some other really cool filters in here that you might want to do, like, I only want recipes that I've liked. So stop giving me all these random recipes, only give the ones that I've given a thumbs up to. Or give me all of, I've purchased Mel Joanne's well-fed recipes. I only want Mel Joanne's recipes on a Thursday, Tuesday dinner. So there's lots of options in here that you can go into if you really want to be more prescriptive about how you want to have your meal plan running. And this is where we're dealing with people at lots of different levels. Some people just want to plan, mess around with it a little bit, go shopping, la la. There are other people that really want to dig in and go complicated into here. And we hear from everyone. And so we've designed a piece of software that can hopefully encompass a lot of what people want to do in a meal plan. How are we doing, Katie?
We're great. I think it's just about time to wrap up.
Okay. So there's one more thing that I want to say at the end of this webinar, because there's a, have you done the whole, look at that. Lots of people have done the Whole30 before. Very cool. So if you are still here, and I see that a number of you are, and you're wanting to do this, and if you're in difficult financial straits, there's a pandemic going on. I know there's a lot of difficult times for many families in the US and abroad. Then please let us know on support, and we'll see what we can do for you. Because basically, not that everybody should be doing this. We ask for a subscription because this is how we earn our living, and we spend every day obsessing over making something that works well, is up and running, and it's quick, and all that kind of stuff. But we also recognize that there's unprecedented unemployment in the US right now, and yet there's never been a better time to have a good immune system, a strong immune system, in order that you can stay healthy and deal with any kind of health-related issues that might come up. And so really, we're just trying to help people as much as possible and ask for subscriptions for people who can afford it in order that we can continue to help everybody. So if you're here at the end of this webinar, this means that you're very interested in doing this. And we don't publicize it. We don't sit on Instagram and go, hey, it's, but for targeted groups, we do that. So I just wanted to kind of offer that out to this community. And I think that's it. So Katie, thank you so much for facilitating the webinar and getting everyone corralled and questions and inviting everybody. I really appreciate the chance to show what we've been up to for the last few years, and hope that this speaks to you and that this is going to help you in your journey with the Whole30.
Y'all have a great week.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.